Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Today's topic it's solar panels, the pros and cons of it. So let's get started with how does solar panels actually work? Okay, let's watch this small video.
Solar 101. How solar panels work. Commonly known as solar panels, photovoltaic modules are used to generate electricity. Solar panels are made from photovoltaic cells. Photo meaning light, and voltaic, the production of electricity. Photovoltaic cells have two layers of semiconductors. Similar to a battery, one layer is negatively charged while the other positive. These layers are protected by two outer shields made from special glass. The semiconductor absorbs photons, or the radiation from the sun, and transforms it into direct current electricity, also known as DC. DC current flows to the inverter, which transforms the power into alternating current, or AC. This process takes place billions of times per second and is noise-free. The power flowing through the inverter is piped through a bidirectional electric meter into the main panel, which distributes the electricity throughout the house. The bidirectional meter displays net power used minus net power produced. When the solar system generates more electricity than you use, the meter spins backwards. What happens at night? The excess electricity generated during the day is fed back to the main panel. It's that simple. Solar panels have a life expectancy of 30 to 40 years. On average, utility costs rise by 6.7% annually. That means a $150 electric bill today will probably be around $720 in 25 years.
All right, guys. So this is how the solar panels work, right? Right. So the four pros and cons for the solar energy. Number one pro, it is that it will lower your electricity bill, right? Solar panels enable you to, use power from the sun. So the Con Ed bill that you get will have a minimum of $20, right? And let's say your currently Con Ed bill right now is $250. With solar panel, let's say you're leasing it or you owning it, you're paying $130 monthly, plus the $20 with Con Edison minimum bill, you're paying $150, right? With solar. Without it, you're paying about 250 with Con Ed. It's just to give you an example here. Okay. Number two pro is that it's dependable cost, right? You know that Con Ed bills or the rates are always increasing, right? For kilowatt per hour, right? The rate has risen 4% on average for over last 10 years. On the other hand, on the same period, the solar energy cost has decreased more than 70%. That's because of more competition out there and it's things are getting cheaper, when there's more competition out there, right? And solar panel is using the sun to deliver its energy. So you know the sun is going to be there for a long time for us, right? Another pro for solar power is that it's healthier for the planet, right? We are not using any fossil fuels, right, which is causing damage to our planet on daily basis. It just helps prevents that, right? So it's just going green. So it's definitely healthier for the planet. Okay. Another pro is that it can raise your home value depending on when you installed it, right? Purchase the solar panel system may add up to $15,000, right, to your value there, right? Okay, so now let's say you have a solar panel installed and the listing agent says it on the MLS that this property has solar panels. You can contact the listing agent and see the terms. Is it lease? Is it owned? How many payments is left? What is the monthly payment? All the details as a realtor you want to get that, right? Before you even talk to your buyer because you know there's a solar panel. So this way when you're talking to your buyer, you can say, hey, this guy has this installed for last 5 years. He has another 20 years left. This is the monthly payment. um, and this can be easily transferred to you. It has to be, if they want to purchase that property. This is one of the conditions in there. So you want to have that as a buyer's agent, you want to have that conversation with the listing agent. So you're confident when you're talking to your buyer, and you want to advise them if they should move forward or not. Keep it real with them. Okay. One of the benefit of that will be that the new owner now, right, will not have to pay any upfront cost because it's already installed there and everything is just transitioning to their name, right? Another pro for solar panel is that it lasts pretty much around 25 to 30 years, right? And most of these service agreements from these companies, Sunrun, Sun Life, others out there, they will give you agreement where they will give you support, for 25 years, 20 years, depending on the companies. Okay. But solar panel itself have a lifespan of 25 to 30 years as well. Okay. And your service plan will include what they will monitor, what is free for maintenance, what kind of repairs they're doing. Everything will be in the agreement. Okay, so those are the pros. It's definitely better for your, uh, bills on monthly basis. There's savings there. It's better for for the planet. It might raise your property value, right? And it lasts pretty much, your mortgage time, 25, 30 years. Right. On the other hand, now some cons for solar power. Right. Number one is the new home buyer understanding the concept of it. They might just think that, hey, I don't know how to calculate how much panels I need. How much I'm going to use, what my savings is going to be, stuff like that. Right. Our job is that if it's already installed, to get the information and provide it to them, or if it's a brand new, just a regular property, and the buyer wants to get a solar panel, you want to guide them. You want to tell them pros and cons of it, and guide them to a couple of companies where they can get quotes and compare it and see which company they want to go with. Okay. So the con is that is the pricing, understanding the technology, understanding the savings might be challenging for them. Okay. Or another con is that the owner might say, "Hey, the roof is not right for my, my roof is not right for the solar panels." Right? Again, you got to find out from the companies. Hey, they can come give you a free estimate, and then you can decide if it's right or wrong for you. Right? Right. Finding a good solar installer is difficult. They don't know where to go. They need some sort of guidance. That's why you should be there to help them out. Hey, let's look at online in your area, see through Google reviews. Let's find you some solid company, right? Or you can check with the neighbors of that community, right? Word of mouth, and see which company they're using. Like some of the companies that's newly installed solar power, they usually put up a sign right in front of their house as well, and you can check with the neighbors there, right? Another con is that they might say, hey, solar panels are not attractive, right? So you got to find a way. I think Jabba was mentioning on one of our meetings too, last meeting, that maybe you can put it on the backside, depending on which direction the sun is coming from, and try to hide it, in some sense, if possible, right? And they might think that, hey, another con is that the initial high cost, um, when they want to install it, right? So in the beginning they have to come up with funds, but you have to tell them there's different plans for lease to own from different companies, right? We'll go over that too. So even though we're saying that solar panels going with solar panel is going green, it's not technically all the way green, because to manufacture those panels, it still has an impact on the environment, right? So you can see that on solar panel produces about 50 grams of CO2, right? Whereas coal, right, close to 1,000. So 50 close to 1,000. So it's still a big difference. Okay. That's one of the cons there, that is still not 100% green because of the actual equipment. Okay. And now for the cost, I have pulled up a company called Sunrun, right? They have different options. You can have it installed for monthly lease, right? Full lease, full purchase, or monthly loan, right? Benefit of monthly lease is that no upfront cost. For full lease is pay now, save later. Full purchase, that you own it, and monthly you purchase and you finance it, right? And ownership, and the first two, Sunrun owns it. The second two, homeowners owns the equipment. Okay. And upfront payment, zero to little down for monthly lease, right? For full lease, it's 25 years. Full purchase, full cost for the system, right? And for monthly, nothing upfront. Okay. So I will share this web page with you guys, and you guys can go through different benefits, and there are some FAQs on the bottom, and see which plan you actually prefer, or you want to guide your clients to, right? Okay. So if you're in New York City in five boroughs, right, there is the New York City solar property tax abatement, right, incentive, right. This program was designed to encourage property homeowners to install solar systems, right. For New York City, the programs allow property owners to deduct 5% of the total cost of the solar each year, right, for 4 years, right? And from their property tax bill, and that can be up to $62,000. That's the max. Okay, so it's 5% of the cost each year for 4 years. Okay, but you must install your system, right, by January 1st, 2024. Okay, what installations are eligible for solar property tax abatement, right? That's your solar PV, your equipment, the labor, the system design cost. So all the bills that you're getting from your company, Sunrun, Sun Life, that will be deductible, right? Are property owners still eligible for New York State and federal solar incentives? Yes, right? If you're in New York City, you can get both for the state and federal. Okay. And there's a form called PTA4, and that's the form that you have to fill out. So this is for your New York City, right? There's another one for federal for the whole United States, and I'm gonna play that video here.
In this video, I'm going to go over the Solar Federal Tax Credit, what it is, how to get it, and what it covers. For many people, solar power is too expensive. With this in mind, the Solar Federal Tax Credit was created to help bring down the cost of going solar. There's a lot of confusion out there about what the tax credit is and how you get it. The Solar Federal Tax Credit, also known as ITC or Investment Tax Credit, is a dollar for dollar reduction in the amount of income tax you owe. This means if you owe any income tax, you can use your solar tax credit to pay some of or all of what you owe, depending on how much your solar tax credit is and how much you owe in taxes. The tax credit was 26% in 2020. This means you could have gotten a tax credit worth 26% of the total cost to install your system. This includes the cost of solar panels, wires, mounting equipment, inverters, and labor. The exact cost of these things depends on the amount of solar power you're able to collect and the amount of electricity you use, so the cost will change from home to home. The tax credit was supposed to drop to 22% in 2021 and expire in 2022. Luckily, the solar tax credit was extended. This means in 2022, the tax credit stayed at 26% instead of dropping to 22%, and won't drop to 22% until 2023 and is set to expire in 2024. This gives people more time to take advantage of going solar. However, now is still a great time to go solar. If you wait too long, you'll miss out on huge cost savings, which means it'll take longer to pay off the system. Putting it all together, if you go solar while the tax credit is at 26% and your system cost was $30,000, you'll have saved $7,800 because you can deduct that amount from your federal income tax. So let's say you owe $6,000 in federal income tax, you could pay it all using your solar tax credit. If your solar tax credit is more than you owe in income tax, you could roll it over to the following year for up to 20 years. So in this example, you would still have $1,800 to deduct the following year. Even if you don't owe any federal income tax, you may still be able to get the tax credit. The reason is that for most people, your employer is collecting federal income tax from your paycheck throughout the year. So even though you may get a return at the end of the year and appear to not be able to use the solar tax credit since you don't owe anything, you do have income that is being taxed, and that means you can still use the solar tax credit to pay your income tax as long as you qualify. To qualify for the tax credit, you must own your home, which means most apartments are excluded. You must also be installing a new solar system, meaning the tax credit cannot be used on an existing solar system. And the last thing needed to qualify is you must own the system. You won't qualify for the tax credit if you rent or lease your solar system, even if you own your home. To make sure you qualify, speak with your accountant first. If you do qualify, you'll simply have to fill out a tax credit form for each year that you have money left from the solar tax credit left to deduct. There's no limit to how much you can get on the tax credit, and you could also use it for a battery system as well as if you install the solar system yourself. Some states offer additional incentives to help you save even more money and will even allow you to include the cost of a new roof and upgraded electrical system if it's needed to get your home running on solar. If you're interested in getting solar for your home, check the description of.
All right, guys. And I'll share this link with you guys for New York City, right? For the tax abatement and for the federal. All right. Questions, concerns? Mr. Ali, you want to talk about some benefits? I know you said this is one of your topics.
Yeah, even if you're purchasing a home with a solar panel, they're going to do a credit check on you,
Mm.
just like if you're buying a car or you're going to take a
Mm-hmm.
mortgage.
Good point.
So
Mm-hmm.
bear in mind, you're just applying for a mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
Go into a contract first. Start, get the home. This is I experienced this. We had a fallback. Don't try to apply for the solar panel early. Get commitment on your mortgage, and then, like
Mm.
2 weeks before closing, then they're going to apply for the solar panel. If
Mm-hmm.
morning, if they apply for it now, it's going to affect you getting your mortgage.
Yeah.
Like you're doing a mortgage, you cannot go and buy a car, or you cannot co-sign for someone. But if
Yeah.
you go and apply for the solar panel early, which a lot of attorneys don't know, and they make the mistake,
Mm-hmm.
it's a killer right there.
Yeah.
So bear in mind, especially mortgage people, you cannot apply for the solar panel up front. As the attorney, they should find out about the solar panel, find out if it's transferable, find out what costs involved, and let them know that we have somebody who is buying,
Mm-hmm.
and wait. Don't put in that application till you get commitment on your mortgage.
Yeah.
It happened to me. So I know it. A lot of attorneys don't know it either.
Yeah. No, no,
And
sounds good. Yeah.
yeah, when they come, when they come to install solar panel, they will evaluate and know how much current your house is using, and they
Mm-hmm.
will tell you how much panel they are going to put.
Yeah.
The thing is, I would have preferred to have an extra two panel producing a little more current, so maybe I could get some kind of refund. They don't do
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
They give you exactly how much your house is using. They're very smart.
Yeah. And how they determine that? They look at the old Con Ed bills?
Yes, they watch electrical. They might put a meter. They go watch electrical bill, and
Mm-hmm.
they will know how much involved. Now
Mm-hmm.
you're using your solar panel power, but you still have Con Edison there, where you still have to pay $20 a
Mm-hmm.
month to maintain the meter
Mm-hmm.
with the Con Ed.
Yeah.
That $20 remains standard,
Yeah.
but now you still have your monthly. I think the last house I closed, they was paying 129 or 149 a month. That was the lease for the solar panel.
Mm-hmm.
So they was paying the 149 plus the 20 from
Mm-hmm.
Con Ed.
Yeah.
All right. So this is what I would like to share with everybody. Be
Mm-hmm.
conscious, know what you're doing,
Yeah.
you know.
No,
Don't
that's a
believe the
huge one.
attorneys know everything.
Yeah. No, when they're checking the credit and doing all that, I think that makes a lot of sense. Because it would, just like you said, it's just like buying a car. So in that situation, they must, let the loan officer know, hey, we have a loan. Oh, there's a, solar there, and if we want to make a transition, or if you really want it, they would, or what you call it, to need to do my credit check, and if that is it, and they need to put them on as a, just like on a payment plan or anything like that, that will mess up, the loan officer's
Raquel?
file. So yeah, that's solid points.
Yeah, yeah, that is
Yeah.
very important. You have to let the mortgage guy know,
Right.
and he will do what is important first, which is the
Yeah.
mortgage, and then he
Yeah,
will
he would
see
say,
about the
yeah.
solar panel.
Yeah, he would say, get them clear to close first, make sure everything is good, and then, maybe, Josh can advise on that, right? But yep. Any other questions, concerns? Jabba, you want to add anything to that?
No, nothing else really to add to it.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
And
she pretty much went through everything.
Mhm. Sure. Yeah,
one
Mr.
thing I
Ali?
want to add is that I have never seen or read they remove a solar panel from a house. Like in case people love the house, they want to buy the house,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't want the solar panel there. And
Mm-hmm.
this was a big issue earlier, like 3, 4 years ago. We reached the closing,
Mm-hmm.
and the buyer saying, "Hey, I don't want the solar panel. I'm not going to pay this extra 150 a month. I don't want to take it." And
Mm-hmm.
the owner say, "How can I take it?
Yeah.
Take the company, call the company, remove it."
Yeah.
Company don't remove solar panel. So long
No.
as it is installed, it's there for life.
Yeah. No,
All
no,
right. So
100%. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
yeah, and they are looking for somebody to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. When they install free, they say free installation, free
Mm-hmm.
equipment. It's not free. You
Yeah.
have to pay for it.
But
Right.
yeah,
It's
all
just
that should be, yeah, but that should be negotiated before the contract, when the offer is being submitted. All that should be cleared up right off the bat, so this way there's no problem, at the closing or before the closing, because it's such a big deal. It's something permanent, and they're customizable. Like, these are all customized, right? Solar panels to each roof, so they literally, like you said, they don't, come and uninstall it. They're looking for, if you want to sell, you want to make sure that the new buyer is willing to accept that. That's part of the property. Yeah.
well,
All right.
all that is part of the realtor work. The realtor had to convince the buyer, show him the
Mm-hmm.
bills, how much
Yeah.
money you're going to save, show
Yeah.
him the equity it brings into the value of the property,
Mm-hmm.
and then you could convince the buyer. So as an
Yeah.
agent, we play an important role when we purchasing or put in an
Mm-hmm.
offer for a
Yeah.
house with solar panel.
Mm-hmm.
Educate the buyer first.
Yeah. No, no, sounds good. Sounds good. Yep. That's the main thing. As long as we got to know the stuff before, that's why these meetings are important. So this way you can get some knowledge. And when you're talking to your, other realtor, you ask them these questions, and get the true cost, get the, so you can talk to your buyer and tell them if it's a, be honest with them if it is a deal breaker or not, if it's something solid, tell them, because it's something that they depending on this. Now let's just say you advise them on a wrong, you give them a wrong advice, and then they close the house, and you will get no referrals from them. You want good relationship with these people. So always guide them the right direction.
And what also, Lucky, even if you're going into a contract, you could always ask the buying agent to ask the selling agent, ask the seller, can I see a copy of the solar lease? Can I
Yeah,
see how much you are paying per month? Can
for
I see
sure.
a copy of your electrical bill?
Yeah.
So this will show the buyer exactly what you are saying. You
Yeah.
build a little credibility in the eyes of the buyer.
Yep. For sure. For sure. Yep. All right. All right, guys. Any other questions, concerns before we go? All right. All right, guys. That'll do it. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10:30. You guys can
Okay.
get going one by one. All right.
Okay, bye. Bye,
Take
Lucky.
take care.
Take care.
Take care.